everybody, it's the weekend edition of the Tube. Yes, time to revisit the top stories that made our week. Take a deep breath, here we go. With us in the studio are Shai Ringel and Gabi Tartakovsky. Good evening, how was your week, boys?
It was a very good week. If we are talking about tech news, we had a very busy week. I think that Microsoft had a really good week with the Surface 3 that we talked about this week, and Facebook that we're going to talk later this show.
Thank you very much, Shai. Gabi?
It was a pretty pleasant week. A lot was spent on the nuclear talks. It's really exhausting for me.
Okay, so welcome to the weekend.
Yes,
let's start our
it's very
show.
refreshing.
Has Spotify found its first real rival? Jay-Z likes to think so. Last January, Mr. Carter, also known as, well, Jay-Z, purchased a company called Tidal for $56 million. On Monday, he held a press conference to announce the new service. The news conference in New York, marking the service's new ownership, was short on details about the business arrangement behind the collective, but it did offer cross-genre star power. Check the video out.
Right now, they're writing a story for us. We need to write the story for ourselves.
If the fans can see that it's from us, that's so important. It's done.
This collaboration feels so egoless. Everybody's having the conversation. We really do have an opportunity to change the way we all experience art.
We're going to come together and we're going to take a stand and we're going to give people quality and great things and great experiences.
You know, we'll push the things that happen on the internet further along.
This is really musicians making music, and it's about music, and there's no end game.
Maybe it sounds like a cliche, but it's about putting art back into the forefront. It's about bringing humanity back to being an artist, not technology art, human art.
I spoke to a lot of different people outside of the industry, and everyone was like, what took so long? Like, this thing was the thing that everyone wanted and everyone feared. If these artists can sit in the room...
Wow, this video is so problematic. And yes, seconds after the launch, criticism of the new service swept the web by storm. Many questions have risen. Let's ask some of them. So let's start with, what do you think Jay-Z was planning to achieve with Tidal?
First of all, to defeat Spotify, and doing so by basically recycling the claims that the old major label and record companies used to say regarding music lovers who downloaded music. He basically wants to say that Spotify and Spotify users are the reason musicians are not making enough money as they should. Now, this is a very problematic claim, since he gathered around himself the most prolific and successful musicians around. For instance, Daft Punk, who's responsible for one of the biggest selling vinyl albums in history, and it broke record sales in Amazon UK and in Brickstore as well. So no one thinks that Madonna or Nicki Minaj are actually being cheated out.
But do you think that this information was what made Tidal such a joke so quickly?
It looks like a joke. The problem is we're talking about the reason why it looks like a joke, but we have to say that it looks like a joke. I think one of the reasons is that this video is trying to be it's a dramatic video where everyone is so serious and they all wear those, you know, musician costumes, they pop star costumes they wear when they are on stage. Now, when you think about it, they are entering a new game that they don't understand, the tech world game. When Mark Zuckerberg goes up the stage to introduce a new product, he usually wears a bland t-shirt because he wants to introduce himself as that very young, very practical, very hard-working student who wants to bring practical tools. And
the musicians didn't get it. But what do you think they can do against the bad buzz?
Well, it all comes to what exclusive content will be made available. They obviously promoted exclusive liner notes of sorts. I don't think that's the reason music lovers are going to be attached to this service. Also, the fact that it doesn't offer any free fee. You begin with clearing $10 as you go along, and then the premium service If they will be able to secure exclusive content of music, not just videos, then it might be of any significance, but I won't bet on it because, you know, Taylor Swift also pulled out all of her catalog from Spotify. People might do the same here, and they will probably say, you know, we've been cheated out again. We're not getting enough money as we should have gotten.
And maybe the deal that they're gonna make with artists, even the small ones, is much more beneficiary than Spotify, and then we will like them. No.
No. I don't think that's the case. I think that they'll look at the revenue as a subscription, but that's it. They are talking about making money from them for themselves, but it looks like a bunch of really famous rich people talking about how they can change the world. They think that they can change the world because every time they make an album...
already did.
Yeah, because every time...
we're going to move on. You already did, artist. I like you. Sorry. The hate-love story between Europe and Facebook, well, it continues. Citizens within the European Union have been advised to close their Facebook accounts. Yes, you heard that one right. If they wish to keep their private information away from the prying eyes of the US security services. At the same time, Facebook introduced this week Scrapbook. It's a new service that will help parents to open pages for their kids. So now Facebook can collect information on your kids. Let's refresh our memories with the promo.
Scrapbooks are a great new way to keep track of the unforgettable moments and milestones you'll share with your child. With the scrapbook, you can tag photos of your child to create a special collection that grows with your family, from first steps to first days of school. Coming soon, you'll be able to invite family members and friends to subscribe to a scrapbook, so they never miss a moment you choose to share with them. And you are always in control of your child's tag. Parents choose to make a scrapbook, and only they can choose which photos to tag in it.
Kids. Okay, Shai, can the EU really fight Facebook?
Actually, it can. There's a good chance that the EU, it will never win Facebook as, you know, the primary social network that a lot of the European Union citizens will use. But it can make a difficult life for Facebook in Europe. And it did so to Microsoft in the 90s. We tend to forget that, but Microsoft was really hit hard by the EU in the 90s when they were declared as a monopoly over computers. The EU can make regulations that will make Facebook life difficult. It already did to YouTube. In Europe, in Germany specifically, the German government really made a hard time for YouTube to just make every video available, no matter what copyright law.
But for me, it doesn't sound like the EU against Facebook. It sounds like the EU against the big eye of the American government.
Well, they can't really go head-on against the American government. I'm afraid no one can. I think that it will be impossible since everyone is basically doing what the U.S. Secret Service does, and that we all spy on one another. And when the Germanwings plane crashed and it was announced by the prosecution that the co-pilot did it deliberately, every journalist went on to Facebook and found his profile pic sitting next to the Golden Gate Bridge. It will be very difficult to monitor such actions. Even if you do stop the government, you can't stop the people themselves.
So you're claiming there's hypocrisy in this whole move from the EU?
Well, the concerns are legitimate, but the end game is impossible in my own view.
Of course, there's a lot of hypocrisy here because the EU is going after the NSA and not going after the GHQ. In Britain, it goes after the Americans who gather information and not going after the European own.
Might we see anytime soon something that's more than an advice, an actual law or restriction?
But maybe, but we're going to see it against American companies, because now the European Union is thinking about how to limit American companies. This is the only way they can actually be in the game, money.
Okay, so if we'll open a company, let's not open an American one. Okay, Shai. Now it's time to play with Barbie. It's me, 5 years old, all over again. Later this year, Mattel will release the first Wi-Fi connected Barbie called Hello Barbie, which will use its web connection to talk to children, answer their questions, and play interactive games. Child protection advocates claim that Barbie's concealed microphone, activated by a button on the doll's belt, could be used to record children's likes and dislikes and send that information back to Mattel via Wi-Fi. Mattel said it will not monitor conversations and will comply with the law. Let's watch it in action and freak out.
But this is Hello Barbie. Welcome to New York, Barbie.
I love New York. Don't you?
Yes.
Tell me, what's your favorite part about the city? The food, the fashion, or the sights?
Food, fashion, or sights? What's your favorite thing? Museum. Food and restaurants.
I love the food. Where else can you find so many types? What's your favorite food?
Now your turn. What's your favorite food?
Lobster.
Lobster. Lobster.
I've never eaten that before. You'll have to take me to try it.
Well, it's expensive, but we will take you to try it. No problem. Well, we are on stage so we can show all these lovely people how amazing you are.
Wow, if my Barbie could talk while I cut all her hair, she would have, not liked it. So why are we so creeped out when we see a talking Barbie?
We are creeped out because there are a lot of reasons. First of all, Barbie itself is kind of creepy without her talking. She's not a human being. For her to be a real human being, it's like a human being with 17 bones removed to make that figure. So Barbie is creepy enough by itself. Now, when you think about Mattel, the company, having control over what Barbie actually says and can, convince your kids on different things, this is how education is being removed from schools into corporations that can, bring new messages to your children.
Yeah, what do you think?
Well, staying on the corporation angle, this is very disturbing on a couple of grounds. First of all, it's basically Mattel admitting that Barbie has no personality. Okay, they made her able to speak, but she doesn't say anything original. It's only provided on the information gathered by the child who's playing with it. So basically, Mattel, who's always marketed Barbie as she can be everything, she's basically nothing. Now, that's one thing. The other thing is that I think it's very damaging for a child, not just because of the safety concerns of privacy, but also having imaginary friends is pretty healthy. And it's also healthy that the imaginary friend doesn't talk back. With Barbie basically hailing every sentence and preference that the child will speak, the child will grow up having a very disturbed worldview, thinking he's the center of attention. Playing with a talking Barbie is basically like playing with the most popular girl in school who obviously adores you and wants you to be best friends forever, but it doesn't work like that.
But am I missing something? I mean, will she be able to actually have conversations? Because to me, I remember all these dolls that, had like a few sentences that they would say, and you get tired of it quite quickly. So maybe we're all just a bit too concerned about this whole story.
This is not those old dolls. This is a new doll that has endless conversations options, which means that Barbie will learn what you like and what you dislike, and will be able to talk with you and bring you, convince you of things.
And what about looking at it from the other angle? Because education can be part of what you do there. I mean, the people that computer or whatever can take responsibility on the information that is delivered for kids.
No, the company itself should not take the responsibility. The parents should take the responsibility, and the parents shouldn't buy a Hello Barbie.
That will teach you Japanese, no?
Yes, but what happens if the child shares a terrible family secret that he is feeling safe just to share it with the Barbie? Will Mattel inform the police if, for instance, God forbid, the child will confess that he's being molested by his parents.
Why, is someone listening?
Yeah. Obviously, yes.
Obviously, everyone, the information is recorded and gathered in order to be analyzed and for the company to make it better.
Well, you know, it's the same discussion all over again. It's the future.
Yeah, but this time it's for kids. Kids cannot understand what we adults understand.
I know, but if you don't necessarily advertise to them and you can also activate a protection on them, so why not? We have to finish. Thank you very much, Shai. Thank you very much, Gabi. Thank you very much, viewers, for being with us throughout the weekend. We'll be back on Monday with a brand new show of theTube. You miss us, log to our Twitter and our Tumblr. It's theTube24. And always remember, early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise.